to take a moment to talk about world building in fantasy. And yes, I'm talking about fantasy because it's just what I know more about. But there's a lot of advice online that is very, very prescriptive, saying you must do your world building this way. You have to know these facts. If you don't know these 17 things about your world, you have not done your world building yet. Hell, there are people online selling worksheets that you can fill out to prove how much you know about your world. And if you find that useful, great. But if you don't, no biggie. Because here's the thing. What do you actually need to know about your world building? What directly impacts your story? If it does not come up in the story, it's actually not that useful. Like, objectively, if you write an entire story where the characters never go anywhere near the coast, you don't need to know what fish are in the sea, what color the sails on the ships are, what kind of ships these are. You don't need to know that unless it comes up in the story. If you have a story that all the characters are completely a-religious, it sort of doesn't matter what the dominant religion of the country is unless it's going to directly impact them. And yeah, a lot of world building facts are incredibly evocative for an author. They help you develop what themes you want. They help you figure out where you want your story to go. They often really, really, really help you figure out what your characters want and why they can't have it. But if it's not evocative for you and not coming up in the story, you don't need it. Now, I will say, if you're reading over your work going, there's something wrong here, and you're noticing that a lot of the descriptions feel very generic or just are lacking entirely, like if you realize that you have not described a single building in the entire story, yeah, that might be a sign you need a bit more world building. And a bit of advice that I really appreciate was from somebody I follow on Threads. They're Kai Hawksmore, and they offer great advice. And one of the most useful things I've ever seen them talk about is a great way to backdoor your way into world building is write a scene at a festival, a holiday. Give us your characters just wandering around that festival. And it may not end up in the book. It could just be an exploratory experiment. But that's a good way to think about, okay, well, this holiday, is it a religious holiday? Is it an a-religious holiday? What is it celebrating? Okay, that might give you clues of what the government looks like. How are they celebrating? Is there dancing? Is there music? What clothing are they wearing? Is there, like, street food? All these are ways to explore world building that is actively helpful for creating a world that feels lived in and not just, filling in slots on a worksheet.